It all happened on a Saturday. The air was thick with the smell of grilled meat and betrayal. I can still see the smoke twisting upward while laughter echoed around me. Fake laughter. Harmless until it wasn't. Because then he started talking, her best friend, the one she always swore was like a brother. He'd had a few drinks, and his tongue moved quicker than his brain could keep up. 1 second, he was boasting about his new truck, and the next, he was bragging about something else entirely. Bro, if you knew what really happened on your wedding day, huh? Everyone laughed. Even she did. Until he said it. Until those words spilled out like shattered glass. Man, I got her pregnant before you even said I do. The laughter died instantly. The grill hissed. And my world split clean down the middle. I didn't say a thing. Not a single word. I just watched her face drain of color, and his smirk disappear as he realized what he'd just done. That's the thing about truth. Once it escapes, you can't stuff it back in. We'd been together 7 years. High school sweethearts, college partners, soulmates, or so I thought. I'd built my life around her smile, her promises, the gentle squeeze of her hand when she'd whisper that she'd never betray me. And I believed her. Because love, when it's real, blinds you. And I was legally blind. But looking back now, the cracks were always there, tiny, almost invisible ones. Those late-night study sessions with him. The private jokes that never included me. The photos she deleted because they were embarrassing. I should have seen it. But I was too busy being the perfect husband, the dependable fool. After that barbecue, I disappeared. Literally stood up, left my half-finished plate, untouched drink, walked to my car, and drove off without looking back. No note. No explanation. No scene. Just silence. And that's what scared her most, my silence. For a month, I ignored every call, every message. She begged, cried, even sent mutual friends to talk to me. But I was occupied turning my pain into precision. I ran tests, made copies of documents, shifted accounts, transferred assets, created new ones under names she'd never heard of. 2 weeks later, the DNA results arrived. Not mine. Not once. Not for either of them. Both children, hers and his, conceived before the vows, before the rings, before the lies became legal. Strangely, I didn't feel anger. I felt clarity. Like every scattered piece of my life finally clicked into place. So I started planning slowly, deliberately. I waited until she thought the storm had passed, until she convinced herself I'd forgiven her or moved on. That's when I reached out to his wife, the quiet one, the patient one. Turns out she had her own suspicions. All she needed was proof. And I had more than enough. Exactly 1 month after that barbecue, I loaded up my truck. The kids' toys, their clothes, the crayon drawings labeled Dad. All of it. Even her fancy designer luggage. Then I drove, not to my house, not to hers, but to his. They were all there. Her. Him. His wife. I parked in the driveway, stepped out calmly, and rang the doorbell. When she saw me, her face lit up, like she thought this was some grand reconciliation. Poor thing. Can we talk? I asked. They nodded, uneasy. I motioned toward the truck. Got your stuff, I said to her and the kids. She frowned. What do you mean their stuff? That's when I pulled out the folder, the DNA results, sealed and signed. I handed it to her, then to him. Go ahead, I said quietly. You'll want to open that. They did. His wife leaned over his shoulder to read. The silence that followed was perfect. His hands started shaking. Her face went pale. And his wife, she just stared at them, like she'd been waiting for this exact moment all her life. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. I just looked at her, the woman I thought I'd grow old with, and said softly, You always said you wanted a family with him. Congratulations. Now you have one. Then I turned and walked away. She followed, trying to explain, but the truth doesn't need translation. By the time she caught up, I'd already spoken to my lawyer. Custody? Not an issue, they weren't mine. The house? In my name. The accounts? Closed, emptied, and moved. She was left with exactly what she'd given me, lies, and someone else's children. Weeks later, I heard through a friend that they'd split. The guilt and public humiliation tore them apart. His wife took half. Her reputation took the rest. As for me, I vanished again. But this time on my own terms. New city. New job. New silence. Sometimes I still hear her voice in my head, soft, trembling, begging for forgiveness. But I don't hate her anymore. Hate requires feeling, and I burned through all of that the moment she realized the children she'd raised me to love weren't mine. Now, all that's left is stillness, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing she got exactly what she wished for. A life with her best friend, built on the ruins of her own deception. Revenge doesn't always roar. It's silent. It's the calm hand that delivers truth and walks away. And as I drove off that day, watching their house shrink in my rearview mirror, I finally understood. Some stories don't need closure. They just need justice.